Covert hypnosis is something everyone is always doing to each other. They just don't realize what they are doing, and they don't know how to do it with intention. When you understand how to use your voice, how to use your words, what to say, how to say it, you're able to get across a message that is extremely rare and impactful, whether it's through negotiating, seduction, or just pretty much getting your own way. Covert hypnosis is a skill that can take your communication to another level. When I started to learn hypnosis, many changes happened within my mindset and how I talk to other people. Things just became easier. Getting what I want became easier. All decisions are made emotionally before they're made logically. And that is why hypnosis is so powerful, because we're communicating to the feeling center of a person where they start to feel certain feelings. If you make the other person feel really good, their decision is going to be yes. They're going to think, yes, I'm going to go for this. And they're not even going to know why, because the feeling itself, the good feeling they're going to have attached to the idea of the thing you desire to achieve from the interaction, the outcome, will automatically go in your favor, because that good feeling will be attached to your outcome, and that person will immediately say yes, unconsciously. Remember guys, hypnosis is the language of the unconscious mind. Mastering hypnotic language is really easy. It's just about knowing exactly what to learn. It's knowing how to create your tone. It's about using your voice, knowing what words to say, knowing what formulation of how to say those words. It's a combination of combining many different elements, because you're learning to speak to a different part of the brain. You're speaking to the unconscious mind, or the limbic brain. This is the part that is responsible for emotion and feels energy. And when you can learn to speak to that part of the mind, that is when you are becoming a master of hypnotic language. In my course below, I go into so much detail. It is honestly one of the best courses you will ever do about learning to master covert hypnosis. But in today's video, I'm going to share with you some basic steps that can get you going right away. I'm going to share with you a magical hypnotic word, which when you use this word, you can put a person in trance very easily. First of all, when you speak to someone, you have to have an outcome in mind. What is your outcome for the communication? Whether you want to persuade them of something, you want to leave them with a good feeling, you want to make them feel any kind of emotion like excitement, love, happiness. It's up to you, but you have to decide what is your outcome for the conversation. Then number two, you have to start to use hypnotic words which create confusion in the logical mind. This opens up the person to suggestibility and makes them more receptive to you. And this is the secret word I was talking about. I'm going to give it to you now, so remember this really carefully. What you're going to say is to the person, I find you learn a lot about people by learning how they X. So I'll give you the phrase, I find you learn a lot about people by learning how people can just go deeper into a state of complete fascination. I'm going to do it again. So we're going to say, I find you learn a lot about people. And that's going to be the phrase. Then the next step is where you're going to start to embed a command. I find you learn a lot about people by learning how people can just stop, go inside, and start to imagine all the things in your life that allow you to feel a complete sense of freedom. So I don't know if you're starting to see the process and how it works. We start off by saying, I find you learn a lot about people by learning how they X. And X is the command that you're going to use, which is going to slip deep inside their unconscious mind. See, when you say to someone, I find you learn a lot about people by learning how they, that is a very confusing statement. And it creates a form of engagement that causes the unconscious mind to come out and start to pay close attention to every word. And then you use the command language. So we're going to embed a command saying, feel this, get this, do this, whatever command, whatever is the outcome of the interaction, we're going to embed it into a command form. So I'll show you one more time. I find you learn a lot about people by learning how people can connect with people around you, and start to realize that the more you listen to someone speaking, the more you can allow yourself to just let go in this moment. So I did it again, and I'm sure you're starting to notice the hypnotic effects. And then thirdly, we're going to change our voice tone. I don't know if you've noticed how I've been speaking normally and talking, and then suddenly I lower my volume by 20 or 30%, and I begin to slow down the rate at which I speak. So when you can start to use your voice, how loud it is, how soft it is, and how fast you speak, and how slow you speak, you start calibrating and having more conscious intention over how you're using your voice. And when you can use your voice in this way, you'll begin to get incredible results, because you'll notice that people are extremely receptive when you start to change the pace of your voice, the loudness, the softness of your voice. These are all methods of speaking to the unconscious mind. They're non-verbal form of communication. So it doesn't contain words, but there's a certain vibration within how you use your voice. So when you can speak a little bit softer and you can slow down the pace, you'll be discovering your hypnotic voice. So those are the 3 tips you can use today to implement into your language and into your communication. And you can begin to use this covert hypnosis to your advantage and really just improve your communication. So remember, what is your outcome for the communication? What is your confusion and command you're going to embed? And how are you using your voice, the loudness, the softness, and the pace, slow or fast? Once you combine all of those together, you're starting to understand what is covert hypnosis, and go out and test it out and get absolutely incredible results.